sitting in the back of a cop car, banging my head on a window.
Remember when you failed a class in college because you were transphobic, and then you threw a big fit about it? Yeah, have fun in the back of that cop car.
I got deported by 6. I got sued by 6. I got burned by 6. I got bombed by 6. I got mugged by 6. I got shot by 6.
You deserve to have a well-paying job, food on your plate, as well as a roof over your head, because those are fundamental to your life.
Communist alert, Mod, send him to the electric chair.
I think gay and transgender people deserve equal rights in this country.
Did you just say that you support child grooming? Groomer!
We need better restrictions to be put in place so mentally ill and murderous people cannot access guns so easily.
What about my Second Amendment rights? To shoot you in the face. Bye-bye!
This skit is based on a real argument. Minors can't consent to surgery. Yes they can. 15-year-old cis boys have been consenting to top surgery for years. That's medically necessary. Why? Because gynecomastia increases risk of breast cancer. Breasts increase risk of breast cancer. By that logic, everyone needs top surgery. Well, boys aren't supposed to have boobs. Says who? Says society? So actually, the reason I couldn't consent to top surgery as a minor wasn't because I was a minor, or because it wouldn't have been conducive to my health. It was because it would have made me not conform to how society thinks a teenage girl's body should look. Is that society in the room with us right now? Okay. See, next time, instead of minors can't consent to surgery, I think you should just say minors can't consent to procedures that would make their bodies unappealing to me. It would make you sound as creepy as you're being.
One of the most famous two-spirited person is Wewa, a leader, artist, and lamana from the Zuni tribe in now New Mexico. The term two-spirited describing indigenous people who occupy non-normative or multiple gender roles was established by the Indigenous Lesbian and Gay International Gathering of 1990. Many native communities recognized their two-spirited citizens with acceptance for generations using their own traditions, terms, and roles until the US's plan for enforced indoctrination deteriorated these with mandated assimilation policies enforcing heterosexual monogamy. Wewa was lamana, which in traditional Zuni culture are male-bodied people who take on both female and male roles. They became famous when they traveled to DC in 1886 as an ambassador, where they were perceived as a cisgender woman and referred to as a princess. There, they met the president and gave lectures on their culture. After they returned, conflicts broke out with the US government. Wewa was arrested along with 5 other Zuni leaders, supposedly accused of witchcraft, and served a month in prison. They died in 1896 at the age of 47.
Ooh, she mine, ooh, girl, bump and grind. Ooh, she mine, ooh, girl, bump a line. Angelina, lips like Angelina, like Selena.
Shout out Unk with the chair, Montgomery Brawl. Everybody that was there, Montgomery Brawl. Threw the hat off at the start, Montgomery Brawl. Man, shout out to the girl.
The reason why so many close male relationships in fiction are read as gay is because the writers forget to make the women characters too. So in Lord of the Rings, Sam marries Rosie Cotton, and that's great for Sam and all, but Rosie Cotton isn't a character. You could take her name entirely out and just replace it with Sam's wife and it wouldn't affect the story at all. I think of relationships like Frodo and Sam, or Kirk and Spock, or Harry and Draco, where they technically do have romantic love interests that are women, but those relationships don't get as fleshed out as the relationship that they have with each other. The writers are just going through the motions of making their characters heterosexual, not actually writing a heterosexual love story. And then the character themselves appears to queer people as just going through the motions of heterosexuality, because that is how the writer has written them. So if you don't want 2 close males to seem gay in fiction, you should remember to actually give them women to have relationships with. Real women, not just props.
the way it feels to be a hater. Something so sweet about thinking that.
Leave me alone!
Are you a communist?
¿Eres un comunista? ¿Eres un comunista? ¿Eres comunista?
Soy comunista. Comunista, sí.
Hombre, ya comunista. If you're communist, you need to get organized.
The IMT is a revolutionary communist organization with comrades from all around the world. Fight Back, this account, is the Canadian section of the IMT, and if you want to join us, if you want to fight for communism, go to marxist.ca/join. If you're in another country, you can go to marxist.com/join to join the fight for communist revolution.
Yeah, you got some silverware, but really, are you eating though? Are you eating though? Nigga, are you eating though?
The girl boy, not girl, not boys, who not girl, not boy, girl boy. Floger Boylan.
Conservatives are anti-education. We know this. But there is one really dangerous narrative that I don't think gets enough attention. And it's best exemplified by Fox News' crusade against the very concept of being educated. This week, Jesse Waters devoted an entire monologue to this idea. He framed the idea of being educated as a war between snobby liberals and real Americans.
Since academic credentials mean everything, they use words and phrases to show everybody how smart and politically correct they are. They make everybody else feel alienated and kind of confused. Non-binary, intersectionality, marginalized communities. What?
Okay, you saw what he did there. The liberal elites have college degrees. Therefore, liberals must think they're better than you. Therefore, words and phrases you might not have heard before are actually left-wing dog whistles meant to alienate you. It's completely nonsensical. But if you are constantly scared and cripplingly insecure, which Fox News wants you to be, it makes perfect sense. And this type of language is some of the stuff that makes me saddest when I watch Fox. I'm sure a lot of you watching this video have parents that worked so hard and went without just so you could have a shot at a good education. And not even a 4-year degree. Higher education in this country is inaccessible to so much of the working class. But schooling and literacy and learning even as an adult are things that past generations could only dream of. And in some cases, especially for the poor, for women, for people of color, died for. And that's really why conservatives don't want Americans to be educated. Education, literacy, and solidarity are the only true universal weapons of the working class. And people like the folks at Fox News are working day and night to convince Americans to give those up voluntarily. I mean, look at this chyron from the same episode. Trump invalidates liberal snobbery. All 3 of these men are college educated. 2 of them have a degree in history. And of course, when you look at their Wikipedia pages, you'll find relatives in blue. They know the value of education. They wouldn't be where they are without it. And anytime they pretend otherwise, it's just because they are scared of losing their power. Because that's what education is. It's power. You can tell when you're being swindled. You can think for yourself. You can work with others to create newer, greater, better ideas. And now more than ever, it's clear that these people will do anything they can to take that away from you.
I got deported by six. I got sued by six. I got burned by six.
And I have never, ever seen anybody get beat out of their crotch before.
The reality is that more often than not, violence works, whether or not that be punching a Nazi or beating up a group of racists who decided to attack a black man simply doing his job. And this can be a hard pill for people to swallow, especially given that the oppressive institutions constantly hold up non-violent protests as the better alternative. But to understand what the oppressors actually think is effective, you don't study what they say, you study what they do. And based on the actions of oppressive forces, violence is absolutely effective. Sometimes it's really not trying to debate someone in the marketplace of ideas or overcome their hatred with your humanity and love. Who wants to bet white people in Montgomery, Alabama will think twice about trying to beat up a random black person now? The cessation of violence is very often a violent endeavor.
Hello, hi, I will be redrawing some racist art, and today I'm looking at the dangerous black man. The two main reasons I redraw racist art is number one, looking back at the past can help us understand some of the mistakes that we've made and why we've made them so that we can avoid repeating those same mistakes. And number two, I want to take something that has been used to tear down people, destroy it, reconstruct it, and make it into something that can uplift those same people. They have no power over you. I started this series back during lockdown, and one of the main reasons I stopped is because TikTok would only let you post, I think it was about 15 seconds to a minute at the time, and it just wasn't enough time for me to fully give these discussions the depth that they deserved. I did try posting on YouTube, but I hate editing videos with a passion, but now TikTok allows to post for 10-minute videos, and I know less people will watch them to the end, but I don't care. The racist art that we're going to start with is from an old music book cover, and the title is Dangerous Black Man, and this perfectly encapsulates the stereotype of the black man as the brute, which points to black men as aggressive and violent. This stereotype has been used throughout TV, movies, social media, books, cartoons, art. These stereotypes are not only ignorant, but they contribute to the harm that black men experience. There are many black men in history, in the news, people who've been racially profiled, innocent young black men like Emmett Till who had to suffer the consequences that these labels have shackled them to. This stereotype also harms others because it creates this fear and mistrust of black men. There are these unconscious biases that we've all been conditioned to hold. It can be small things like who you sit next to on the bus or who a company would choose to hire. In fact, this stereotype of the black man is so entrenched that some black men have internalized these racist stereotypes within themselves, sometimes criticizing each other for not being masculine enough or dominant enough. And I'm not saying that black men have to be more docile or feminine, because ironically that's putting them into another box that they're supposed to fit into. Black men, like anybody else, should be at liberty to express themselves in a way that they feel comfortable doing so, and portray as unique individuals with many layers of complexity. I've decided to redraw this piece, but instead of a menacing black man, it's just a black man. I mean, definitely the kind of black man who would have posted one of those black men frolicking TikToks, #BlackBoyJoy. As well as the change of expression, I've also decided to add daisies because they represent innocence, and I think they help to represent all of the black men who have been harmed by these ignorant stereotypes. And the title has changed from Dangerous Black Man to Black Man by Black Men, and the idea is that they should be able to define who they are. On the left-hand side were some names that were given credit to for the book, and the question is, if black men are not the stereotype, then who are black men? And as someone who isn't a black man, I think it's also a little ironic for me to try and define them, especially because we've already acknowledged that they're not a monolith. So what I did, number one, was I found words that meant the opposite to dangerous, and number two, I found some articles and bits of research where black men defined themselves, and I really wish I'd referenced specifically the different places and added it to the drawing, but it's too late now, but it's a great idea in hindsight. I hope you guys like how it turned out in the end as much as I do. I will be putting prints on my Redbubble shop. The link is in my TikTok bio if you are interested in buying prints of any of the art pieces.
Yeah, I would never wear a dress. I don't wear that. I would never. Okay, lettuce and... Wait, usually my handwriting is like different. I'll just try it like this and... no. Okay. I don't... Why does it look like this? I'll write fast. There we go. No. What am I gonna wear? Is this a choice? No. Okay. Yeah, I bought these nails, but I just know I can't put them on because I will want to immediately take them off. Okay, So the new aesthetic in the room is gonna be modern and yeah, no dresses. Okay, straightening it. I am only gonna be straightening my hair from now on. It looks so much better. Maybe if I just figure out what aesthetic I really am, I'll finally be settled. I just have to think about it. That's all.